So this question came in, and I'm going to warn you up front. This is from a student, so if this seems like total Greek, and you're like, I thought I know coding, what is she talking about? This comes from our teaching technique. So the question is, can you tell me if some of the leveling exercise answers may be incorrect for the E&M? It says to drop the lowest on the 2 of 3 office established patients, so I ended up getting several wrong when I did that. So let me show you this technique that I've been teaching since 1999. It's matured over the years, but what I did for myself, because I'm a very visual person, and when I see a lot of words, it just feels like Charlie Brown's teacher, you know, that wah, 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 and I have to make things more simple. So this is a system that I developed for myself when I first went to take the CPC exam, shared it with my first class, they loved it, and I've been using it ever since. So basically what I did is I looked at the 3 key components for evaluation and management, and that's history, exam, and medical decision making. And they each have 4 levels, if you will, and they go up in difficulty, level of difficulty. And the higher they go up, the higher you can expect to get paid for the E&M. The higher your overall E&M level. So for history and exam, they share the same terms: problem focused, expanded problem focused, detailed, and comprehensive, and I just converted them to the first letter, PEDC. Okay? For medical decision making, it's straightforward, low, moderate, high, so SLMH. So the idea is on board exam questions, and also in real life if you're coding off of a chart, that you're looking to convert, you're trying to find the answer to, or the level to history, what is the level of exam, what is the level of medical decision making, so you can put it all together. So what I instruct my students to do is to write those letters to the left of the bullets in their E&M section of their manual. So I did a little screenshot to show you what my manual is. I only took little clips of the codes instead of the whole thing, because all we're really interested in for this method are the bullets. Okay, so this is for your bulleted type E&M codes. If it's a time-paced code like critical care, then this doesn't apply. So leveling is, if you look at 99201's definition, you'll see at the end it says which requires these 3 key components. So that's why I wrote 3 of 3 in the margin for these. For the established patients, if you look at 99212, it's saying which requires at least 2 of these 3 components, and so that's called 2 of 3. So you're going to get letters all over the place. They're not always going to be a PPS or an EES or a DDL. You might get a problem-focused history, P, and then the second bullet, an expanded problem-focused exam, and then maybe low medical decision-making. So now you've got each of those levels, or each of those scores, if you will, let's call it a score, on different levels of E&M. So the problem-focused history shows up on a level 1 or a 99201. For shorthand, you'll hear people in the industry say a level 3, a level 4. They're just referring to the last number of the code, okay, instead of saying 99201, 99202. So in my example of a PEL, the P is showing up at a level 1, the E is showing up at a level 2, and the L is showing up at a level 3. So what do we code it as? You know, and so we call that leveling. So a PEL, when it's 3 of 3, the little rhyme up here, when it's 3 of 3, you code to the lowest, because it requires all 3 components to be met. So even though we had a level 3, one of them on level 3, we don't have all 3 of them on level 3, so we can't code at a level 3. So now we try to make it fit a level 2. We've got the second bullet met. We've got the third bullet exceeded, so we're looking pretty good. But the first bullet is too low. This is a 3 of 3 situation, so we can't code at a level 2. And so we're going to go all the way down to a level 1. And that's why this little saying works. When it's 3 of 3, code to the lowest. So that problem-focused history pulled it all the way down to a level 1. Okay, and that's why physician education comes into play a lot with this, because normally history is where physicians are weak in their documentation, and they are asking the patient, they are getting that information, they're just not documenting it well, and therefore we as coders can't code it. If it's not documented, it's not done. So that's what this whole leveling thing is about. So I did one column. These are all the new patient codes. So your level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what you'll notice with the bulleted E&M codes, the first bullet is always history. The second bullet is always exam. And the third bullet is always medical decision making. So there's at least consistency there. And they always go in order. So just looking at the first bullet, you can see we've got the problem focused, the expanded problem focus, the detailed, and then comprehensive shows up on a level 4 and a level 5. The exam does the same thing for this particular subcategory of E&M, office new. Then medical decision making, straightforward and straightforward, shows up on level 1 and 2. And then we've got low on level 3, moderate on level 4, and high on level 5. Now, if you go to another section of E&M, like say home health or home services, or you know, there's lots of different subcategories of E&M, it's going to change. And that's why you always have to get into the right location first. So my technique, I have my students write in the margin of their exam booklet or on a document if they're doing it for real-world coding, locate your hem in time. So next to the word locate, you draw a line and you're writing the category of E&M it is. In this case, it's new office patient. And the column on the right, it's established office patient. Then the HEM, H-E-M, we're just putting a line to fill in what is the level of history, what is the level of exam, what is the level of medical decision making. So and in my case, I just put the letters. I don't write it all out. And then the last thing, time, I put with a question mark. Is time a factor? And if so, then you code according to the time instead of the 3 key components of history, exam, and medical decision making. So now that you have an overview of the system, the student was asking about PEL, I believe, no, PPL. So she was struggling with the 2 of 3 concept. So she was understanding 3 of 3, code to the lowest, and actually that does make it easier for coding purposes, but harder for the physician to get a higher level. So for the PPL, using the system, she found the P on a level 2, or 99212, the second P on a level 2, and the L on a level 3, and the answer key said it was level 2. And she thinks it's incorrect, but actually it is correct, and I'll show you why. So a PPL, both the P's show up on level 2 for the established, and the L shows up on level 3. The saying for 2 of 3 is when it's 2 of 3, drop the lowest and code to the next lowest. So we're able to drop one of the P's, but not the second one. So that's why the overall E&M level is a 99212 for a PPL. Okay, we can drop one of the 3 bullets, but not 2 of the 3 bullets. Okay, so that's the system. It works really good. It really helps you to understand any other E&M tool out there. They've got these special slide rules and grids and things like that. Once you can figure it out from the manual, which is pretty much all you can bring into the board exam, it's going to help you to understand all those other tools. So hopefully that will help you with understanding 3 of 3 and 2 of 3 and how to do the leveling.
Do you need more medical certification training? Go to www.cco.us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates.